Welcome. When I recorded this, cutting this piece of turquoise, I didn't feel like talking, so I didn't talk. And I wanted to see what it would be like to record one with some dubbed-in audio, to see if you prefer it over the sound of the cabbing machine. I kind of like the sound of the cabbing machine, but I just was cutting and kind of not in the mood to talk, and so I just cut. So, but I did like the way this one came out, so I wanted to put the video out. I have some higher grade turquoise coming, but these are going to crack the stones, and this one actually cut some nice stones out of it. So I'm just looking into the stone right here to kind of see what I want to do. All I have is a very small cutoff wheel on my Dremel, so cutting it is difficult, and so I was trying to see how I wanted to cut this one. And I decided to cut it across the width into 3 or 4 different, there you go, on the same hand, I cut this across the width and cut it into 3 different cabs. So this is a piece of Kingman turquoise, and it's got the kind of that honey matrix in it. It's very pretty. It's more matrix than turquoise in some of these pieces, so I will probably, after finishing them and looking at them, I'll probably end up cutting one of them at least down a little bit more and doing a smaller stone, just because I prefer, I mean, looking at turquoise, there are some times where you have more matrix than turquoise, and some people like that. I don't. I want to have more turquoise and just enough matrix to give you the contrast and break it up and give you a pretty pattern. But this one is really nice material, and probably the best piece out of the parcel that I got. And it's cutting into some nice cabs. But this one I think right here is the best one, with about the right amount of matrix and turquoise. So I desperately need to get a new diamond wheel here. As you can see, it takes quite a bit longer than it should to cab some of this stuff. I need to get a new 220 grit wheel coming, and that's in the works. I'm just kind of using what I have and what was working good for the opal, but this one would be much quicker in the cut if I had a little bit more aggressive wheel or a newer wheel. This one's pretty wore out. Still works okay for smaller stones and opal. You can see that this one has more matrix than opal. I'm cutting, trying to see if I can kind of center up the opal pieces and end up with a cab that has the right balance for me. Everything's so subjective. You can see on the back side, it's nearly all matrix. On the front side, I'm trying to see if there's any more opal turquoise that can be pulled through. So this one's a much better piece. I think this one has a nice balance of turquoise and matrix. And this one I think ends up cutting my favorite cab of the 3. Alright, so we've moved to the medium grit wheel. Starting to get them shaped. Again, I'm working on my favorite one of the three here. Nice size. I am getting the stuff in the process of getting ready to start setting these in some sterling silver. And I'm kind of torn as to what exactly type of jewelry I want to make. I have an idea for a bracelet with a opal as a centerpiece and two pieces of turquoise on either side of it. That will probably one of the first projects I do. And we'll do a couple ring stones. I don't want giant, gaudy, ridiculous sized stones for rings. So some of these will probably end up getting cut down, but we're just kind of basically getting the feel for turquoise. And mainly, I'm just like with the opal, I'm trying to find sources for the higher grade stuff that I would be happy to set and wear. And I think I have some stuff coming from a new mine that might be super cool. I've been talking to the miner himself. And the good thing about turquoise is it's right here, kind of in my backyard. It's not in Utah where I'm at, but it's, Nevada, New Mexico. And it's a lot easier to get, and I can get it in days rather than weeks. So I'm finding it's a little bit trickier. This stuff being softer than opal, it's a little bit trickier to get the little facets and that stuff out from the cutting, and it takes a little bit different techniques and that stuff to get them out. And I'm finding also that, like I said, I don't have the correct polishing compound. I'll go back and repolish these once I do. I'm just using the cerium oxide that I have, just to kind of get an idea of what they're going to look like. But I found that if I try to polish too much, that the turquoise being slightly softer than the matrix, I end up making the turquoise kind of, it cuts back, and the matrix stands out just a little bit, and it's barely noticeable. But I've learned to just go minimal on the polish for now, because it will take off turquoise as it's cutting. It does cut a little bit easier than opal does. Okay, let me show you what we ended up with. That was one piece that we cut into three, and we're going from an order of most matrix, and less turquoise. This cab, this is a good example of too much matrix, not quite enough turquoise. Mike could cut that down into something smaller, ringstone size, but that's where we have it right now. But still, nice cab. I don't dislike that one. The next one is the biggest one. This side right here I think is pretty close to perfect. Maybe a little heavy on the matrix. And I would cut this side off and do a cab there, but this turquoise right here is so nice I'd lose it unless I wanted to do like a small stone there. But again, this one has got that beautiful golden matrix in it with some pretty bluish green turquoise light through it. And then my favorite one, the middle-sized one, with maybe a hair more matrix than you like, but not too bad. It's got a nice distribution. It's got turquoise all over the face, matrix all over the face, beautiful golden blue contrast right there. That one is probably my favorite, definitely my favorite of those three. But tell me what do you think? We got kind of 50-50 turquoise, 60-40 turquoise, and 80-20 turquoise quartz or matrix to turquoise. Which one do you prefer? All right, just to end the video, the two that I liked the best that I just thought had a little bit too much matrix, I recut them, tried to minimize the matrix and maximize the turquoise, and that's how they came out.